Hi guys, we tend to look at what's happening at the port of Dover and others that connect Britain to the European mainland. However, three ports that used to represent a significant amount of trade has seen traffic fall by 30%. Those are Holyhead, Fishguard and Pembroke. The head of Stena's UK ports said that this drop was due to the new post-Brexit trading arrangement with the European Union and not the pandemic. But he added that the company had a long-term commitment to its Welsh ports and expected things to improve. Now, I don't understand how we can make that statement as two things are happening at the moment. The checks are expected to get more severe this year, and we're seeing more and more freight being shipped from Ireland to the EU directly, avoiding the UK land bridge. Boris Johnson's government said that it had made extensive preparations for Brexit and continued to work to mitigate any disruption taking place at ports. However, we've seen ample evidence to the contrary. As we know, Brexit is something that is being implemented over a long period of time, and the damage it does only truly becomes apparent the further we move away from the end of the transition period. Mr. Davies, the head of Stena's ports, told the BBC that the start of the new UK-EU trading relationship had hit Welsh ports quite hard. He said, and I quote, "In January we saw a big drop-off ranging from 50 to 60% of our freight volumes. As people really got kind of used to the new regimes and the new documentation that was required, I would say it caught quite a few, not so much in the haulage industry, but their customers unaware. But then things gradually improved, but we seem to have plateaued. Currently we're probably in the region of 30% down on our 2019 volume." He was asked if it was possible to separate the pandemic from Brexit when looking at the impact on the ports, and he said, "I think now we're probably in a position to say yes. This is really the effect post-Brexit of where we are, and slight changes in the way that people are moving freight. If we look at the Irish Sea in its entirety, the freight volumes are roughly the same. What has been adversely affected is really the Welsh ports and the Welsh routes so far. However, he does believe things will improve. Once again, my feeling is that this is wishful thinking. There has been a shift northward when it comes to trade between Ireland and Great Britain via Northern Ireland. At the same time, Ireland is increasing direct connections to Europe. In October 2021, Ireland's Foreign Minister Simon Coveney said a huge increase in ferry routes had taken place. These avoided Welsh ports by directly linking Ireland to Europe, up from about 12 to 44 routes. While direct sea routes from Ireland to France are slower and more expensive than crossing the Irish Sea and driving through Great Britain to cross the Channel between Dover and Calais, the direct sailings avoid cumbersome post-Brexit checks and paperwork, which can make delivery times extremely difficult to predict. Not something good if you're running a business. Wales currently has three ports that have direct routes to Ireland: Holyhead, Fishguard and Pembroke. While Mr. Davies pointed to the financial crisis and the recovery after it as a sign of things eventually improving, I have to disagree with him on this. Economies suffer downturns and then a recovery, but Brexit imposed a correction that is not dependent on market forces. It's purely bureaucratic. The problem is that the market cannot adjust to that. It will have to work around it, but this workaround will mean avoiding ports like those in Wales. As I covered in a previous video, we have yet to see full third country checks taking place. The rest of 2022 will see that. Politicians have also weighed in on this. The head of the Lib Dems in Wales attacked Boris Johnson's government, saying, "Whether it's the unacceptable levels of new red tape for our hauliers and small businesses, the lack of an adequate veterinary agreement for our farmers, or the impact of the lost development funds on our most deprived areas, the Conservatives are failing to even attempt to address the problems they have caused on multiple fronts." So what does the future hold? Well, Mr. Davies talked about a digital border being implemented in 2025. This would require investment in infrastructure now in ports like Holyhead, but Boris Johnson's government doesn't seem serious about putting their money where their mouth is. Once again, it seems the burdens of Brexit will be offloaded onto others. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.